This is a tire that I have removed off of a sport bike. The first thing we need to do with this tire and rim assembly is to remove the air out of it in order to secure it to the table. In order to remove the air out, I'm going to remove the valve stem cap, select the proper tool, and remove the Schrader valve from the valve stem. Before removing the tire from the rim assembly on the machine, you should always make sure that your wheel spacers stay with the vehicle. If the wheel spacers don't stay with the vehicle and you use the machine, these will get lost. Most newer metric or American bikes have a sprocket or a rear pulley assembly that's removable from the rim. You should always make sure that this is removed so you don't damage it when you install the rim and tire on the machine. By rocking it, you will remove the fingers from the push drive that stays mounted into the rim. After we remove the air from the tire, I need to take the tire, set it on the ground, and install it into the bead breaker. When installing the tire and rim assembly into the bead breaker, make sure that the table is squared off to the rim and tire assembly. If it's not, you may find one of the rams in the way of the tire and rim head assembly, and you may hurt your hand if your hand's placed on top of the tire. When you place the rim and tire assembly into the machine, make sure that the tire and the rim is firmly attached to the side of this rubber bumper. If it's not, and you depress the pedal, the shovel will come in and squash the tire and rim assembly along with whatever's inside of this space. When breaking the bead, watch the shovel in relation to the tire and the rim so that the shovel doesn't contact the rim and damage it. Sometimes you have to take the shovel and come outside of the sidewall area and put it in the tread area in order to break the bead. When I depress the pedal, I want to hold on to the shovel and the top of the tire to break the bead away from the rim. When breaking the bead, make sure you do it in more than one spot all the way around the rim in order to remove the bead from the rim. So rotate the rim, break the bead. Rotate the rim and break the bead. This makes sure that the tire is removed from the rim. After you remove the bead from one side of the rim and tire assembly, flip the rim and tire over and repeat the process. Be careful not to make sure the shovel and the rim don't make contact. When installing a rear tire on the table, make sure that the brake disc always faces down and the side with the sprocket or the pulley always faces up. When installing a front tire on the table, if you have a twin disc brake system on the motorcycle, it doesn't matter which side faces down. But if you have a single disc on the rim and tire assembly, make sure that the disc is not too large that it gets into the jaws on the table. When installing the rim on the table, secure the rim into the furthest most jaw away from you. While depressing the pedal, lock the second jaw in to the table. While releasing the pedal, bring jaws 3 and 4 in, and sometimes you have to take a knee to watch to make sure that these two jaws come in and grab the rim and not the tire. Sometimes it's helpful to push down on the rim, not the tire, to secure the rim to the table. When you install the rim and tire assembly on the table, always make sure that the valve stem is located in between two of the jaws. Located by every machine is a spray bottle of tire lube. When removing the top bead from the tire, make sure that you lube the tire in the bead to help aid in removal. This is the duck on the tire machine. It's comprised of the tail, the head, and the bill. Secured under the head of the duck should be a nylon protective piece. This piece wears out. If it's worn out, please tell your instructor as soon as possible so it can be replaced. Now we're ready to bring the duck arm in and adjust the duck to our rim. I can adjust the duck in or out and drop the duck down to our rim. Once I have the adjustment set, I push down on the duck and lock it into position. When you lock the duck, make sure that you push the duck till it contacts the rim. By locking the lever, the duck is raised off the rim about 1/8 of an inch. Make sure that the duck bill stays about 1/8 to 1/4 inch away from the rim. After installing the duck, select the appropriate side of the tire iron, put it under the bill, push it to the rim. Standing on the left side of the tire and wheel assembly, pull the tire iron to you, moving the bead of the tire over the head of the duck. Make sure that the bead of the tire goes into the recess on the rim in order for you to pull the bead above the head of the duck. Remove the tire iron, place it back into its holder. Always make sure you have enough tire lube on the tire in order to remove the bead from the rim. After I have the bead above the duck head, I can depress the pedal, rotating the rim and tire assembly, removing the tire from the rim. To remove the second bead of the tire from the rim, you need to make sure that you install the tip of the tire iron over the bill of the duck, not on the rim. Going over the bill of the duck, I pull the tire iron towards me, pushing the iron all the way through to the bottom bead. After the tire iron is installed under the second bead, lift the whole assembly up, pulling the bottom bead over the head of the duck. Remove the tire iron and make sure that the bead stays above the head. Sometimes you have to hold the tire up when you rotate it. When the second bead is above the head of the duck, depressing the left pedal and holding up on the tire assembly, rotate the table, and the second bead comes completely off the rim. It's tempting to release the lever to release the duck head to get the tire off the rim. All you need to do is tilt the tire on the rim, pushing the duck head out of the way, saving your settings. Always note the rotation of the tire before removing it from the rim.